Yeah, so I think everybody but me has already commented on Kanye West. But I have been fighting with somebody on Twitter about it, but it's really, I think it's exaggerated how much people take this seriously. But the way it's been such an overreaction, it parallels a little bit up with what I was talking about a couple of days ago with Natalie Portman. It's the same thing. The inflation of the importance of celebrities in current events. Kanye West, big time rapper, but what difference does it make? If he likes Donald Trump, doesn't like Donald Trump, okay, good for him. What are the reasons? I don't know. I think one of the only reasons he likes it is because he's somebody who doesn't like to be muzzled by everybody else telling him what to say, or he's against political correctness or something, which is such it's a horse that's just been beaten so much. Both trying to be politically correct and talking about all the problems associated with this speech policing. Honestly, how much can people take already? It's gotten to be you know repetitive. There was this professor who tweeted out about Barbara Bush, and people were saying, "Oh, fire this professor because she's saying all these nasty things about Barbara Bush." Suddenly, then people were saying, "Well, uh, that's too much. That's we can't police free speech on the left as well." So on both sides, it's kind of become really a tug of war over what's the real limits of freedom of speech. But the tug of war on the left it's gotten to levels of absurdity that they can't get out of now. They've basically tied themselves in knots over it. And hi everybody, hi Marcus and Larry, Mark Anthony, Larry, Mega Man. There's really there's really a lot that the Democrats can lose here. This could be their Waterloo. In fact, I might use this as the new title once I re-edit this stream. The reality of it is, if they would have let it go, kind of, first of all, they can't control it. Tom Perez, the Democratic Party, they can't control the reactions because they have become a party that's completely wedded to pop culture and Hollywood, celebrity, Bradley Cooper, all that stuff, which is was a great strategy when they had Obama as their president. Obama was that magnetic personality. He was the celebrity president. He was the star fucker. And now that he's gone, they don't have anybody that can control and manipulate the public in the same way. It doesn't work anymore. So unfortunately for them, when somebody with the public profile and imprint that Kanye West says something that goes against their orthodoxy, or even, I mean, a few months ago he said something not quite as explicit about his agreement with some of Trump's issues, and he met with Donald Trump. However, when when he did say it this time about Candace Owens, and he was openly feuding with a bunch of people, now the Democratic Party can't rein in its hounds. People start saying, "Oh, Kanye West, he's just an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm done with him," or whatever. And then a lot of his fans, who are not political fans, are saying, "Well, this this is odd. Somebody he decides to speak out and say, well, he thinks otherwise. He doesn't agree with you. What's going on? Are you trying to like institute some sort of orthodoxy of thought?" So unfortunately for the Democrats, there's no way to undo the damage that they're doing for themselves today. It's really, they have tremendous bad luck today because it happens on the same day as the Joy Reid scandal over her saying a bunch of uh, negative things about gays, all of the things she said, I would probably have agreed with. But she has to pretend now that wasn't, first of all, she said that she was hacked and that it wasn't really her. And then it's gone all downhill from there, and it could cost her eventually her job, because I think that with the right conditions are occurring to create kind of you know a viewer revolt on her side. People are going to stop watching her. With Kanye West, it's a different issue. He's not going to lose too many fans over this. A lot of his music fans will buy his albums no matter what. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but he is really, I think he's more immune to the effects of public opinion than Joy Reid is. And Mega Man's asking, well, he said first, I don't like Kanye, but if this can change up black people's behavior, this could be good, coming from a black, not really conservative. And then he asked me, what are my views on conservatism as a whole? Well, I'm obviously, if you're not visually impaired, if you're not a blind person watching, I'm not black. I have this Isaiah Wilson, I almost said Isaiah Wilson, like Russell Wilson. I have an Isaiah Thomas thing behind me because I liked his attitude. Back in the 80s, just the bad, it was the bad boys, doing dirty tactics or whatever, winning championships that way. But it has nothing to do with him being black. I mean, he had a bunch of other dirty players on his team back then too. And my whole the whole issue with blacks and conservatives and being a black conservative is it's so important. Larry Elder, I think he kind of helped convince me to become a conservative, not just because the fact that he's black, I think it did grab my attention, but and I think that the issue with that was that Larry Elder had a lot of personal experience to draw on. So if Kanye West was to become a conservative, I don't know if you could call him a conservative now. But what is conservatism then? That's the real question. And that's why conservatism as a whole is something that I don't consider my channel or my writing as being conservative. I promote my belief system. I believe in the free market. I believe in freedom of speech, freedom of religion. I believe in that even hate speech is protected. Even people who called me names and defame me are capable of free speech. Now, last week there was a spammer, so I'm not going to have people spamming my channel. That's just that's irritating. That's beyond freedom of speech. So I had to ban him. There's a limit to certain things where it becomes a nuisance, but that's my belief system, and I think that that's the type of belief system that almost anybody could probably get along with. So yeah, that's my opinion on conservatism, and that might be one of the reasons that Kanye West he doesn't want a philosophy that constrains his way of thinking to be limiting him, which is what modern liberalism is. Traditional liberalism or classical liberalism, as Sargon or Dave Rubin calls it, they don't have the same restrictive behavior, and I think or they do. They were the people who even promoted the idea of freedom of speech, and that has been abandoned by modern liberalism. And it's a shame, because you do need people who that they'll be able to critique certain issues of conservative orthodoxy. If we were a country like like Spain was for many centuries, a conservative Catholic country where a lot of stuff was determined by the church, and there was very limited freedom of expression, we wouldn't be as successful as we are today. There's too much, when there's too much authoritarianism of either stripe, that's a real problem. And then after that, you can get into the whole issue of economics and everything. Those are things. I just published a piece. We're making this video about Kanye. I just published a piece in Hard News Network, which deals with Nicaragua. Nobody's paying attention to Nicaragua. It is melting down. It is because of Social Security. You can look at it from a compassionate angle, all the people getting killed, which obviously it's not a good thing. But the causes of it, the underlying causes of it, the grabbing of state power by the president, the concentration of power in the executive. Yes, some of it has to do with socialism. Some of it has to do with just having power concentrated at the top. I like my news soft, Mark Anthony. Okay, so don't read the piece. um, yeah, that's about it. I did want this to be like shorter, so please enjoy other people's videos about this too. And if you're arguing with people about Kanye West, remember, I mean, it's just, I mean, at the most, what are they going to do? They're going to drive his album sales up in a certain way. There's not much. What are they going to do? Boycott his next album? I thought they were the ones against white splaining, right? You're not supposed to tell black people what to think, right? Wasn't that the whole thing? Well, I guess the shoe's on the other foot now. Um, and yeah, Pinochet, I'll check out those periscopes if I can find them. All right, that's about it. I'll talk to you guys later, maybe later tonight. Who knows?